station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Straight ahead here on DC News Now at 6, one person is in custody following a deadly shooting in a Fairfax County apartment this morning. What we now know about the suspect. Plus, a deadly tornado rips through Mississippi, leaving more than 24 dead. A look at the cleanup underway and the emergency response. And the Park Service announces changes to traffic patterns around the cherry blossoms as tourists flock to the city. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6. I'm Annalisa Gale. Right now, we are seeing wind advisories across our area, as well as coming soon some thunder and lightning. Let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Sumner now. Scott, yeah, lots going on there.
Yeah, the potential of thunder and lightning is going down as we speak, Annalisa, but it is still there and a possibility. Let's take a look off to our west first off here, and we have a wind advisory. You want to cover that because that will take right through the early morning hours of your Sunday. It's for 3 counties, but that's not to say that you won't feel or hear some of that wind outside your windows and doors. Garrett County, Allegheny County, as well as Mineral County in West Virginia are the 3 counties that I'm speaking of here that are under a wind advisory until 4 o'clock early in the morning. Now, a current wind gust, as you see here, not too bad out this way. Cumberland and Kaiser, 6 and 8 miles an hour. Actually, a little breezier further east, as a matter of fact. Manassas, 28, Leesburg, 24, Culpeper at 26 miles an hour. So there is a bit of a breeze outside right now currently, but the big story, too, is also the fact that the temperatures are really dramatically cooler in the mountains here and over our viewing area as opposed to just on the other side of the mountains here. Morgantown, 70 degrees. Cumberland, 46 degrees. Where do you think there might be some severe weather right now? Of course, out towards to the west of the mountains where you would see some sunshine. But it seems like a lot of clouds have been locked in place, and that's kind of kept us a little bit on the cooler side, to say the least, and certainly free of any severe weather as we speak. However, we are to the east of this cold front and to the south of this warm front, so we are in the area that could potentially have some thunder and some lightning as we go throughout the evening, although right now the severe outlook is below marginal standards for the Severe Storms Prediction Center. Now, with regard to the evening planner tonight, going partly cloudy, mostly clear around midnight. So if we do see any thunder and lightning, it would most likely be between now and, say, around 9 o'clock or so. Otherwise, we won't be seeing anything in our area at this point in time. And the weather headlines, yes, a few thunderstorms possible, as I mentioned, but sunshine returns on Sunday, more showers for Monday, and near normal temperatures. We'll break it all down, as I always do, kind of the 7-day forecast. Annalisa.
All right, thanks, Scott. Well, new tonight, an 18-year-old is in custody in connection to a deadly shooting this morning in Fairfax County. Police responded to the Fairfax Village Apartments just before 8 a.m. That's where they found 20-year-old Javier Gomez in a second-floor apartment with a gunshot wound to his upper body. He died a short time later at the hospital. The teen, Darren Cruz Colindres, who was a known associate of Gomez, is now charged with second-degree murder.
It's still a very active investigation. Detectives are trying to determine the circumstances that led up to this shooting. But at the time, prior to the shooting, both the victim and the suspect were inside the residence. They are known to each other.
Cruz was found this afternoon in a home in McLean. Well, this evening, we are learning more about lawmakers' visit to the D.C. jail where those facing charges in the January 6th insurrection are being held. This includes Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Earlier this month, Greene and some GOP lawmakers sent a letter to D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser asking for a chance to visit and review those facilities. After the visit of the jail facility, Greene said the January 6th defendants told stories of being denied medical treatment and being assaulted. Meanwhile, Democratic Representatives Robert Garcia and Jasmine Crockett, who toured the facilities with Greene, said the defendants have access to medical care 24 hours a day. They also have tablets for entertainment and can communicate with their families. About 1,000 people have been charged by the Justice Department in that attack on the Capitol on January 6th. Greene did say the jail facility was cleaner this time since her visit in November of 2021. Greene also said the group was not able to tour the entire jail, but they did go to the pretrial defendant wing. And covering Metro now, leaders are still weighing how to make sure everyone pays their fare when they ride the trains. Our Joseph Olmo looks at the ideas they're now exploring.
Hey there, not paying to use the Metro is nothing new, but now the transit agency is getting better at detecting exactly when it happens. A new report dropped yesterday shows that 40,000 times a day, Monday through Friday, train stations are accessed without tapping one of these, the Smart Trip cards, to get in. Can you imagine that? 40,000 times just in one day. So last year, you might remember Metro, they finished installing these new fare gates at every one of their stations. They aren't just new and shiny, they're also very high tech, each one with multiple sensors to catch when somebody isn't paying to get through them. It's no secret that, as you can see here, jumping through Metro's fare gates is not really a hard thing to do, which is why last year they started testing these modifications that could make it harder to get through without paying. So what you're looking at is option number one, these arches here. They're placed on top of the actual fare gates to prevent people from, putting their hands on top and then swinging their feet through. Not much of a help. Metro won't be going forward with these. However, option two is a little bit different. These are the saloon-style doors. They are laminated glass, and according to initial studies, they work really, really well. So, what are the next steps here? Metro plans to continue testing these modifications at Fort Totten. That's the only station that has these modifications right now. They also plan to put the modifications in 9 more stations. You can see those 9 stations are scattered across the network, some in Virginia, others in Maryland, and more in D.C. Officials want the entire Metro map, all 97 stations, to get these new fare gate doors over the next 15 months. So by next year, it should be finalized. The cost to do it all, $35 to $40 million. However, remember, Metro loses about $40 million every year because of people who don't tap their Smart Trip cards and don't pay to use the system. So ultimately, this could be a cost-saving measure. Reporting here in the studio, I'm Joseph Olmo, DC News Now. Back to you.
Well, developing now in Mississippi, the death toll continues to rise following a powerful tornado that tore through the region on Friday night. Right now, we know at least 26 people have died following that storm. These are images of some of the destruction. The National Weather Service estimates that the tornado was on the ground for more than an hour, moving at least 170 miles. It began southwest of Rolling Fork before continuing to rural communities like Silver City. On Twitter, President Biden offered his condolences and added that he's offering full federal support.
It's the first storm that ever hit Silver City since I've been living. And it's bad. It's really bad. Sad. It really is.
Now, the governor of Mississippi issued a state of emergency following that deadly tornado. Well, closer to home, the National Park Service says Ohio Drive through East Potomac Park around Haynes Point right there will be reverse flowing for a bit, and all traffic will enter the loop road on the Potomac River side, exiting on the Washington Channel side by the golf course. They did not say when this traffic pattern will end. They announced that the cherry blossoms reach peak bloom on Thursday, and since then, thousands of visitors have flocked to the tidal basin.
It was very crowded. It was hard to get a picture because there were so many people.
These are the cherry blossoms. They're the most beautiful trees in the world, so I had to come see them, and my daughter too.
You're so cute, mom and daughter there. And they had the umbrella. Hopefully the rain will clear out a little bit sometime.
Did you have your umbrella earlier if you had to run some errands? I hope you did, because we had a batch of rain, mist, and drizzle move on through. Just nasty outside. And yes, we are improving our visibility since I walked in the door here around 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon. But there's still a little bit of visibility lowering in spots across the district and elsewhere. It's not perfect, but it's getting a lot better, because you really couldn't see the Kennedy Center just about 4 hours ago. According to the charts here, DC saying 10 miles visibility. Might be a little bit lower than that in spots, but, pretty close. Annapolis, 3 miles visibility here. Frederick at 7 miles, but everybody else right now not doing too bad here, locally in Maryland as well as Northern Virginia, the district in West Virginia. Now, out towards the west, I showed you here this map just a few moments ago. Morgantown, 72 degrees. Those mountains, those Allegheny Mountains there, have really kept that warm air just on the western side of it, because Cumberland's at 51 and Winchester's at 52, and you see the numbers over our area into the lower 50s and upper 40s here, middle and upper 40s. So pretty cool, pretty raw day out there. Had a lot of people say, when is the sun going to return here, Scott? Well, tomorrow. You don't have to wait too long. But in the meantime, you have to deal with clouds and also some wind gusts. It is getting windy as this cold front off to the west moves on through. Manassas 28 miles an hour, Culpeper at 26, Luray coming in at 21 miles an hour. But the wind advisory officially by the National Weather Service is still off to the west and will stay there until 4 o'clock in the morning. We can see wind gusts up to around 50 miles an hour. Annalisa?